Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Yogini Victoria. My name is Victoria and I thank you all for being here. So today's class is a bedtime restorative practice. It's a great way to wind down from a long day, to find some movement in your body, to stretch, to just, you know, come down to the present, stop worrying and stressing about everything that happened that day and everything that will happen tomorrow. So I recommend this class in the evening. Obviously, you can do this class whenever you need a little zen in your life. So we'll be seated or lying down for the whole practice, and you don't need any props, but if you do have yoga props, I highly encourage that you grab them because they would be nice to support your practice. So today I have two foam yoga blocks. You could get these like at TJ Maxx or probably Amazon. There's tons of different places where you can get yoga blocks for pretty cheap. And I also recommend a blanket, just something that's kind of thick and will support you. So if that could be like a stack of towels or something like that. And if you don't have blocks, you could even use a stack of books. If books might be a little hard, so you could always put like a blanket on top to soften the surface. But these props aren't necessary, just encouraged if you have them. Okay, so to begin, we're gonna find a cross-legged position. And if you want to make this super restorative, you can do this practice in bed or dim down the lights, maybe have like some essential oils and like a diffuser going or whatever candles, try to make this practice as zen as you need. So if you need to pause the video and do that, definitely do that. But I'm just going to be here with you all. So whenever you create the atmosphere that's very relaxing for you, come into a cross-legged position, maybe prop yourself up on a blanket or a block. You could bring your palms face down on your knees, relax your shoulders down and back. And you can close your eyes if you feel comfortable or take your gaze down to the ground. And begin to arrive on your mat. Noticing the inhales and the exhales. Notice your chest rise and fall with every breath. If you have a lot of mental chatter right now, instead of following those voices and thoughts, try to become the observer of those thoughts. Just notice them as they come up, and with every exhale, visualize you blowing those thoughts away. Relax your shoulders and your jaw. Release tension in your face and in your hands. Soften your legs onto the earth beneath you. Continue to breathe into the present moment, releasing every thought, focusing on your breath. So we'll begin with a few rounds of one of my favorite pranayamas or breathing techniques, and I have a separate video on this on my channel. Um, but I like to integrate this practice in with restorative or yin classes. So you can keep your eyes closed and just follow along to my voice. So we're going to inhale in through the nose deeply. Pause at the top of the inhale and hold your breath. Exhale, release. Inhale in through the nose. Pause at the top. Exhale, release. Inhale. Hold your breath. Exhale. Now listen carefully. We're going to switch it up a little bit. Inhale in through the nose. Exhale. And pause at the bottom. Inhale. Exhale. And pause at the bottom. One more. Inhale. Exhale. Hold. And release. Now we're going to combine the pauses at the top of the inhale and at the bottom of the exhale. Inhale in through the nose. Pause. Retain the breath. Exhale. Hold. Inhale. Pause. Exhale. Pause. Inhale. Be full. Exhale. Empty. Last round. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Release. Return back to your normal breath, noticing the effects of that short pranayama. If you are interested in doing a longer version of that practice, my video on it is, I think it's called Kumbhaka breath. That's the name of the practice. It's called Kumbhaka, but I don't remember how I titled the video. Probably I titled it like pranayama, but anyway. You could gently blink your eyes open if they were still closed. And now let's get situated on the mat. So let's begin in the child's pose. It's one of my favorite poses. It's super, super relaxing. You can, if you need a support on your knees, I recommend using a blanket, and you can either take your knees together, which is more gentle on your low back, or you can take your knees wider, big toes to touch. And if you can't do this, I'll show you an alternative in just a moment. But for those of you who want to join me, we're sinking the hips back onto our heels. And then you could begin to lengthen out through the spine and come forward. And maybe before we fold completely, keep your elbows elevated and really find that extension along the spine. Take a few breaths here. And on your next exhale, if you want to soften down onto the mat, You can even bring a block underneath your forehead, or another blanket stacked a few times. If being on your knees is not accessible to you, you can come onto your back and hug the knees in towards your chest, and you can either bring them close together or take them wide. That's up to you. Okay. So take your version of child's pose using any props you need. And you want to be comfortable. You don't want to feel any pain or pinching. So if you feel any of that, it's a sign that you went too far and you just need to back out a little bit. Let's just take a few deep breaths here. Continuing to allow your hips to sink back. I forgot to mention, if you have a really hard time sitting your heels back, your hips back, you could even take a few blocks or a few blankets and prop them up underneath you. So, just an FYI. Alright, so we're all breathing here. Releasing any tension in your neck, in your hands, in your shoulders. With every exhale, allowing your body to relax even more. Three more deep breaths here. And if you were using a block or blanket under your forehead, just move it off to the side. We're going to inhale and lift up just a little bit to find length throughout the spine again. And then we're going to begin to walk the fingertips over to the left side of the mat. So you're finding a little side bend through the right side of your body. So finding some length here on an inhale, we'll just lengthen even more. And as you exhale, you could relax back down to the mat. If you want to bring the block back, you can do so. Just going to take a few breaths, just noticing the stretch along the right side. And let's inhale and we'll go over to the right side, taking the fingertips to the right side of the mat, finding length through the spine, and as you exhale, relaxing the forehead down onto a block or onto your mat. Breathing along the left side of your body. And an inhale, slowly bring your gaze up. Let's make our way back through center and we'll walk the hands in and come up to a seated pose. Okay. So now let's do nice forward fold. So my hamstrings are extremely tight, so I'm going to fold my blanket up a little bit thicker. You can even sit on a block here. Um, so for this type of forward fold, we're not going to pull or really reach for our toes. This is a little bit more of a relaxed forward fold, so it'll feel really good along the spine, but yeah, so you want to be propped up enough so you're not leaning back. You want your spine and your pelvis to be tilting forward, and you could bend your knees as much as you need here. I'm going to take blocks to the outside of my shins, or whatever. If it's your thighs, that's fine. And if you don't have blocks, you don't need them, like I said. I just like having them. So inhale, find a lot of length through your spine. And keeping the feet nice and relaxed, we're just going to exhale, gently fold. So I like already feel it here. So I'm not going to go any further because I don't want to be in any pain or cause pain through my low back. So my knees are nice and bent. My hands are on the blocks. You could even turn your hands face up if you would like, which I often recommend my students doing to remind themselves not to be reaching for their toes and just to relax into this pose. And, if you don't have blocks, you would just rest your hands down on the ground. You could dip the chin in towards the chest. Just be mindful that the rounding in your back is not coming from your low back. You want your low back to be nice and flat. You close your eyes here. With every exhale, allowing gravity to pull you a little deeper into the pose. Keeping your shoulders relaxed, your hands relaxed. If you need to take a few deep sighs out through the mouth, please do so. And on your next inhale, let's flip the palms back down and gently make our way up to a seated position. Okay, so we're going to come back onto our backs now. You don't need any props here. So, oops, my earbud fell out. Okay, so we're going to, plant both feet on the ground. And let's cross the right ankle over the left thigh. And we're going to keep the right foot flexed just to protect the knee. And you can stay here, gently guiding the right knee away from your chest with your right hand. Or if you want to go a little further, you could begin to hug the legs into yourself and grab around the back of your left thigh, or even around your left shin. And with your right elbow, you could continue to gently guide the right knee away from you. And on your next exhale, let's release the left foot down onto the mat. And then we're going to tilt the whole leg package, leaving the legs as they are. And we're going to tilt the whole package down to the left side. And you can rest your right foot onto the floor, and if that's inaccessible, you can use a block or that stack of books to bring the floor closer to your foot. Okay? So find that take the adjustments if you need them. And you're going to, with your left hand, you could just grab onto your right ankle. The right knee is being pressed away from your body. And I like to bring my right arm to like a cactus shape to just kind of open my shoulder. And you're finding a gentle twist slash slide bend through the right side of your body. You feel it along your hip, through your right shoulder. Just keep your shoulders relaxed onto the earth. Let's inhale back through center. And then we'll switch, taking the left foot, crossing it, pressing the left ankle over the right thigh, keeping the left foot nice and flexed, and you can stay here, guiding the left knee away from you, or you can hug the whole package in towards your chest. Gently guiding that left knee away from you with your left elbow. Just breathe into the sensation. And on your next exhale, let's release the right leg back down onto the mat. And we'll do the same thing we did on the other side, keeping the legs as they are, and just bring the whole leg package down towards the right side. I'm too close to the wall, so I'm going to shift over so I have room. Okay. And gently grab your left ankle with your right hand. The left knee is pressing away from you. And then you could bring your left arm to a cactus pose for this gentle twist. Both shoulder blades are on the mat. And close your eyes if you feel comfortable. And let's inhale back up through center. And the last pose I will offer for this practice is if you have a wall nearby, you can take your legs up the wall, which I'll show you how to go about in just a moment. If you don't have a wall accessible to you, you can take Savasana just by extending your legs out in front of you. But if you do have a wall, so what you're going to do is you're going to bring one of your hips against the wall, and then you're going to just swing your legs up like a rainbow and then relax back down. And if you have a bolster, you could even put a bolster underneath your hips, or if you have a block, which I do, you could take the block underneath you, like the medium height, just to lift your pelvis up a little bit more. This is such a nice way to wind down from the day. Relaxing your feet and your legs. Turn your palms up towards the sky. Gently close your eyes. And find Savasana. You're on your back in just a regular Shavasana. You could gently begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. And if your legs are up the wall, you can also wiggle your fingers and toes. If your legs are up the wall, you could begin to take the knees in towards the chest. Roll onto your side, the fetal pose. If you were on your back in a regular Shavasana, you could bring the knees in towards your chest and roll onto your side in fetal pose as well. We'll all meet here. Keeping your eyes closed. Taking a moment to reflect on your practice. Find some gratitude for yourself for arriving onto the mat. And let's make our way up to a seated position. Keeping the eyes closed or gaze down. Coming upright. Taking the hands at heart center. Thank you all today for practicing with me. And I hope that you will practice with me again in the future. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste. Thank you all again. Please comment, like, subscribe, share this video with your friends and your family. You can also find me on Instagram and Facebook at Yogini Victoria. And please check out my website, yoginivictoria.com, which is where I'll also be posting my videos and a few other blog posts and exciting things on there. So, all right, thank you again, and I look forward to practicing with you in the future.